Hello folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the layout room. Today we're going to do a special video. We're going to do a layout overview. I normally don't do any of these or put out any layout progress videos other than little shorts and pictures of things that I add to the layout here and there. But today we're going to do a brief overview of my layout as it is in progress. No layout is ever finished. There's always work to be done or something new that's going to get added. So grab a drink and a snack and sit back and watch on JRH Productions. Let's get into it. So before we head over to the layout and actually check out the layout, I figured I'd give you some stats and facts on the layout, which I aptly call the Tri-State Central. And why, you may ask, I call it that? Because I grew up in the New York City metropolitan area, so I like all the railroads that ran in and out of New York City and New Jersey, like the Jersey Central, New York Central, Pennsylvania, and so forth. Even a lot of modern stuff like NJ Transit runs on my layout, CSX, Norfolk Southern, Conrail, and a host of other railroads. But that is why I named it the Tri-State Central. This layout is, the main table is roughly 4 by 8 feet with a yard section at the bottom corner, which is roughly 5 by 3 foot. On my layout, I run Bachmann Easy Track. It's not the greatest system in the world. It's not the most terrible system in the world. But as a young guy getting back into the hobby several years ago, somebody getting out of the hobby, or rather somebody's grandfather getting out of the hobby, they graciously donated me a whole bin of Bachmann Easy Track. So that is one of the primary reasons why I run Bachmann Easy Track right now. And I run Bachmann Easy Track switches, and all the bumpers in the industries and the yard where all the rolling stock is, those are not lighted, but the ones for the engine tracks, those are lighted bumpers. Now the radius of curve on my layout right now is 11.25 inch radius. I have some 15 inch radius that might go out on the outer track at some point, but right now they're both 11.25 radius. I don't have any equipment that can't run on that radius right now, so I don't really need anything bigger at the moment. Along with all the switches for the yard and for the industries, I have 2 crossovers, one in the front and one in the back, so I can switch the trains from the inner main to the outer main. So the rolling stock and locomotives on my layout, we'll get into those too before we step over to the layout. The locomotives I run on my layout are DCC with sound, and I have a few that don't have sound. A bulk of them right now are Atlas Masterline locomotives, with a few Bachmann DCC ready with some non-sound decoders in them scattered on the layout, also with some Kato units that don't have any sound but have just regular decoders in them. My rolling stock is a mixture of Bachmann, Atlas, and micro trains, also with some Bowser and other older manufacturers scattered in. Like any good model railroad, it always starts at the base station or the control panel. Mine happens to be the DT602 Advanced Throttle Starter Set, the wireless one. Now I know a lot of people in the comments are not going to be thrilled that I don't do any power feeds or drop feeds from my railroad. I only have one connector. This connector going right up underneath the layout up to the top to the main track. And then this feed right here, this ports in right here for the test track / programming track. Now my base station is on this cabinet from Amazon. If I open it up real quick, there's some storage in here And then there's storage for all of my jewel cases for my locomotives and all of my rolling stock. Now let's head to the top of the layout. So we're up here on the top of the layout, and you can see on the fascia, I have this right here that holds my remote for my TV, because sometimes when I'm down here when I'm running trains, I watch TV, a spot to charge my phone, keep my phone. And any of my 21 and up viewers, this is a bottle opener I mounted here for beers when people want to come over and have a beer and run trains on the layout. I also have these fold down cup holders that normally you would find on a boat or in an RV, but I thought they were perfect here because sometimes I like to have a glass of water or a drink down here and need a spot to put it. So like I said, I only have one power feed going to the layout, and it's right there where my finger's pointing. I run Easy Track for right now because I got it basically free from somebody getting out of the hobby, so you're not going to take a free deal, especially when you're just getting back into the hobby like I did a few years ago. So I only run one power feed down to my base station right now. I run a double track main line with an inner passing loop or track. So right now we're here in this town scene that I'm constructing. I use the Just Plug light system. It's underneath the layout, and it has the little LEDs that come up. Soon all of my buildings will be lit, but this is the little town scene that I've got going so far. It's not finished yet. No layout is ever complete. There's always work to be done. But there's the town scene. Now if we scroll over from the town, down here, here's a switch that goes off the inner main. And if you follow that all the way up in here, we go to our first set of industries here. I have a warehouse here, a food distribution here, and another warehouse here. And then if you come back out this switch here and follow it up past where my trailer park is going to be, my small trailer park, and see all these tank cars, that goes all the way back into here where they get unloaded at this tank facility that I'm working on. And I also have this industry here, this warehouse too, that is not a rail served industry, but it is still an industry on my layout. Now if we come back behind town and follow the main line tracks going all the way back around to the back, we have our first industry here on the back corner. The back left corner, which is a wood plant, or basically a place where plywood and plyboards are made and stored. Then if you scroll back around, you can see the last bit of the road that goes into town here with a gas station and a small corner store. And I follow the main tracks all the way down. There's a switch that comes in and goes back around this old depot right here and back out to the other side. And that's the track that feeds that there, the wood plant, and then also feeds this track right here, which I'm setting up to be for gondolas to pick up scrap metal and other scrap products and to drop off. And then if you follow that all the way down, we have our last rail served industry in the back here, which is this coaling facility. That's just a temporary one right there where my finger's pointing. I have another one that was given to me that has yet to be built. Now we follow that track all the way around past the coaling facility. There's a train coming now. It goes all the way back around to the front. And sporadically I have scenes set up like this, with like the mountains, the rocks, and the trees. My layout is a fictitious railroad, but it's supposed to take place in Appalachian country, like western or New Jersey or northwestern Jersey, Pennsylvania, upstate New York type area. And here you go. we have that track, switch track right there. That goes all the way inside to that passing siding or passing loop. That goes all the way through. 1, 2, comes and cuts right through town and comes out that other tunnel and spits right out that switch. Now I know it's not prototypical to have tunnels like right near railroad crossings, but it's my layout and everybody builds their layout the way they want to. It doesn't always have to be exactly prototypical. Now we come to this switch right here, which leads into a part of the railroad that I've been doing a lot of work on lately, which is the yard. Now here we have the beginning of the yard. Right here we have a total of 4 engine tracks. So we have these 2 engine tracks right here with engines on it, and that little sanding tower. And then if I scroll back down, I have this track in front where my finger's pointing. That houses my NJ Transit stuff, my 2 NJ Transit locomotives and my NJ Transit passenger cars. And then on the track behind that, we have all or most of my CSX locomotives, with 2 in the back on the other tracks back there. And then we scroll up, and this is where the fun begins. This is the actual like switching yard. So it starts here, goes up, up. In the back there, that's the caboose track, because I do love running cabooses behind a lot of my freight trains, especially a lot of my older ones. And then you have these switches here, and you follow them. They go all the way down, all the way down, all the way down and around till they get to this wall here, which is next to the bathroom down here. So this yard holds a total of 60 cars. Well, 70 cars if you count all the cabooses and the passenger train. So now that you've seen my layout and seen the progress I'm making on my layout, we're just going to run some trains to send out this video. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next go-round.